Salutations, my fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to Kirby's Adventure! Last time we wrapped up Ice Cream Island, but didn't have any ice cream, and now we got Butter Building, which is very lacking in butter. Love butter. It's pretty good. Especially on toast. Butter popcorn. Why am I talking so much about butter? I sound fat. Now I believe those rocks give you Stone Kirby, which does a lot of damage, and we'll be showing that later. We got this guy who gives you the mic power-up that I showed off in part 2. Basically what he's going to do, he's got this little force field that he does when he's, I guess, going off, when he's ringing really loudly. And he also could shoot these little music notes on the left and right side of him. They're not too terribly hard to dodge, and those are how you're going to actually attack them if you don't have a copy ability. So you're going to have to inhale those music notes to fire back at them. I don't think they give you a power up, so it's not like you can suck them up and you might immediately get the mic copy ability. That's one of the switches I mentioned during part 2. Getting those switches will unlock a minigame, and some of them will also unlock warp zones, which will allow you to go back to other areas. And I'm actually, and I do manage to find the one in this world, not in the others, but in this one, yes. So I'll be able to show off what that room looks like. And since you already saw the arena, you don't have to see that again. I did get Wheel out of there, though. Unfortunately, it's not very useful here because there's platforms right here, so I have to toss it away. So that's kind of lame. But yeah, whenever you activate one of those switches, your percentage will go up for your save file, because there goes me being reckless again. Just freaking driving off the tower. It's like, good job, me. But like I was saying, whenever you activate a switch, your percentage will go up a little bit. I'm not doing 100% completion. I don't know this game too well, and I'd rather not take it longer than I already am. The only reason why this video took as long as it is because I was actually setting up my new computer, and I was also setting up my editing software again, or at least like a better version of it, because apparently when I was getting everything settled, apparently I ended up just getting an upgraded version of what I was using previously on my old computer to edit all my videos, as well as doing this commentary right now. So that's pretty cool. So like I said, this video is going to be late as well, but not for the reason not for the same reason. I spent a pretty penny to get this laptop too. But enough about that. Those are Gordos. You obviously can't suck them up, but if you make contact with them, you take damage. Ow. Yeah, because that's fun right there. You gotta be really quick in this room because if you don't react fast enough, the item will fall into the pit. I guess I was overly paranoid with the Maxim tomato, so that's why I didn't go for it. This is Busy Beetle or something like that. Basically, what he's going to do, he's going to send his little minions at you, and he's also going to charge at you. If he manages to make contact with you, he basically grips you up and slams you down. It's like a power driver in WWE. I'm more familiar with WWF, but that's besides the point. And the ability you get from him is called the backdrop. Just like what he did to you, you could do that to enemies. Pretty simple, actually. Inhale the enemy, and you can choose the direction you throw them. It's kind of like how it's kind of a precursor to Kirby throwing enemies in Smash Brothers. And the thing that I find weird about the backdrop is that there's also a throw copy ability. It's not exactly the same. It's not exactly the same, but it's close enough. It has its own benefits, which we'll show off later, but I don't know. I just feel like the two abilities are so close to one another. It feels redundant to have practically two of the same power. This area is a little maze. Obviously, if you go the right way, you're golden. But I believe if you, I believe there is a switch in that room. I obviously didn't show it off because I want to keep moving. But I do believe if you go into one of those doors, you might be able to find a, thing. So, yeah. Check it out. Because for what it's worth, if you got the curiosity for these sort of things in these games, finding the switches might come naturally to you. Which is how I managed to find some of them, just not all of them. And miraculously, I was because the benefit of doing a test playthrough before actually recording is I can actually figure out where some of them are, and as we'll find out later, there's actually certain switches you need a certain copy ability to gain access to. It's like way later in the playthrough, but there was this one I just could not get to. It was underneath a bunch of blocks. It was like cracked green blocks. I wasn't sure what kind of power-up I needed. I wasn't sure if it was stone, hammer, or throw. It looked like you had to. It looked like something. It looked like you had to use some one of the really hard-hitting abilities, as opposed to like fire or beam or whatever. Not to mention, there's also some of them that involves you using a cannon. All right, we got another minigame. This is Quick Draw. Basically, the enemy will try to shoot you. If you press, the enemy will bring out a gun. If you manage to press the X button, just after they bring out the weapon, you'll be able to knock them out and move on to the next level. Obviously, the higher the level, the faster your reflexes have to be with pressing that button. And as you're going to see here, well, I sort of shot too early. You do get another attempt if you go too early, but like as you can see with Bonkers right there, that's his name. You have to be really quick by pressing that X button, otherwise he knocks you out. And it's not like you have multiple attempts necessarily. If they manage to hit you, if you get hit once, that's it. But the further you get into the minigame, the more points you earn. And I believe and if you manage to knock out Bonkers, you get an extra life. Only reason I know this because I didn't manage to do it. But the last one will be King DDD, and I'd like to assume you get 2 extra lives as opposed to 1 for that. But I've only managed to get that far once. Again, the timing is really, really tight. And clearly, I'm not good at it. Speaking of Bonkers, though, now we're actually fighting him. He'll charge at you. You can bait him, because when he charges at you, excuse me, the second he gets really close to you, he'll stop and slam his hammer down. He also has these coconuts he just sort of throws via underhand. Simply just suck up the coconut, shoot him back at him, and you're golden. And now with Hammer, I sort of explained what Hammer does without actually getting it. It's similar to Sword, except you actually need it in order to unlock certain things, because there's going to be these pegs in the floors that you're going to need to use hammer for. You can use stone Kirby as well, but hammer is actually my favorite because it's pretty darn potent, and I'm not sure if it's more damaging than the other abilities, and that's one thing I gotta wonder. Are some of the copy abilities inherently stronger? Like, do they do more damage to bosses? Because I can't tell the difference, but I guess it doesn't matter. I just like the satisfaction of hitting something with with the hammer. And apparently that Gordo is stuck in limbo. Well, screw that guy. But butter building, as you could probably tell, it's a lot of vertical levels. I mean, it makes sense. It is called butter building, so there's a little entrance here. Go in here, get yourself an energy drink. Gotta be quick about it though, and now that looks intimidating, but as long as you don't stop, you'll get that you'll get this switch no problem, as well as that drink. As for what it unlocked, well, I mentioned that warp room, so we're gonna check that out in a second. Once we're done this level. And now we've got one of the most useless Kirby abilities in the history of the series. This is Light Kirby. Light Kirby lights up dark rooms. That is literally it. But it's not like it necessarily helps you with, like, seeing enemies, because you can clearly see their silhouettes, and even when the room is dark. If it acted as a flashlight and a screen nuke, then I'd be singing a different tune, but otherwise it doesn't do anything. Okay, I say most useless, but there's a power-up that literally hinders you. But we won't be getting to that power-up until quite late in the game. I want to say World 6, actually. Okay. Oh, never mind. I just unlocked the egg game. This is the warp room I mentioned. You pick a warp star, it'll take you back to that previous one. In this case, we could go back to Vegetable Valley or Ice Cream Island, whatever we want. Alright, now for the boss of butter building. We got the sun and the moon of all things. Here's how this works. The sun and the moon will generally do charge attacks when you're actually fighting them. You only fight them one at a time. Like, they'll alternate in combat. And depending on who's in the sky at the moment, will determine the background attack. The attack that happens in the background. With the moon, you'll see shooting stars. With the sun, it'll shoot a bunch of rays, like, straight down. The attack from the moon is a lot more dangerous, because it can actually hit you. Well, no, they both can hit you, but like, the stars can come from multiple directions, as opposed to, like, the sun. It literally just shoots straight down. But yeah, jump over them when they charge, and that's about it. Anyway, next time on Kirby's Adventure, we're going to be going to the next world. As for what that world is, well, you'll have to wait and see. So until then, I got a juice.